Hey everyone, this is how to survive the zombie apocalypse. How math can literally save your life. Imagine this. One day you're minding your own business and then suddenly you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Yikes. Until a cure is found, this is your new normal. Deja vu, huh? The life you knew is over, and you have to use your skills to survive. Here's where your math knowledge comes into play. So what do? If you paid even a little bit of attention in math class, you can survive to live another day. To survive, there are essential things that we need: food, water, fire, shelter, community, weapons, first aid kit, and medicine, and tools. You need to collect these resources to survive, but you have to avoid the zombies, and they're everywhere. If cell phones still work, we can make an app. We can allow sightings of zombies and determine the danger levels of specific areas. If you need help, you can sound an alarm to alert others nearby to come assist you. We can even map out shelters and safe areas for civilians, and even pathways, so soldiers and civilians could work together. Using math, we can analyze the areas most affected. In this way, we can try to estimate the zombie population growth. What demographic is most likely to become zombies? What age? Suppose the way that the zombies become zombies is through a bacterial infection. There's this fun exponential population growth equation that we can use to determine how many bacterial zombie cells will be in our body after a specific amount of hours if we were exposed to the zombie cells. So let's say that P is the total number of zombie cells after T hours. PO is the starting number of zombie cells. R is the rate of growth, and T is the time in hours. Let's try a fun little math question. If one zombie cell creates 5 new zombie cells every hour, how many zombie cells would be spread throughout the body by the end of the day? So, first of all, we want to calculate our rate of growth. We know that 5 zombie cells at the end is equal to 1 by e to the power of 1 hour by r, where r is our rate of growth. So then we find out that r is equal to ln 5. Using this new formula, p is equal to 1e to the power of ln 5, we can determine the total number of zombie cells in a body after t hours. But we can't use it to determine the total number of zombies. See, population growth works differently. We can use an exponential function for the bacteria because those increase infinitely. But for zombies, the growth would be a logarithmic function because the number of human beings is finite. As the zombie population takes over, the remaining number of humans will grow smaller and smaller. They'll either be forced to come out of hiding or they'll eventually be found by the majority zombie population. This is why finding a community is super important. Allies can have your back and share resources, and we all know that there's safety in numbers. But what's more, during this time, we'll surely need a friend. Once we find our community, we need to have a resources inventory. This is important to keep track of what we have, especially food, medicine, and weapons that we know are scarce. Using this inventory, we can determine what we need. When we know what we need, we'll have to determine where we can find them, how we can get them, if we have excess goods that we can share with other communities, and we can determine how strong our community is and what we need to be stronger. Since resources are scarce, we'll have to move inevitably. Getting around. We know that the quickest path between 2 points is a straight line from math class. But when we have zombies around, It might not be that easy. Ideally, we need to get as many resources in as few and as fast as possible trips. We can use critical path analysis. We can determine what we need to get if there's a necessary sequence, and then draw a diagram and estimate the time needed for each task. For instance, we would want to get weapons first so we can defend against attacks, and so that we won't lose our resources of food and medicine along the way if we were to get it first. This is a fun little example of how we can determine what we need to do first before we get back home. In order to keep the community safe, we need to have proper record keeping. We should have shifts for protection. In the event of injury, we should have medical records and a buddy system to look out for neighbors. All of this scheduling can easily be done with math. So I hope you paid attention in math class. Follow all of these instructions, and you might just live to see another day. Thank you for listening.